All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the BSL. We've already qualified our first player into the round of 8. So congratulations to SPX, who kind of made it look easy. This guy is playing out of his mind. So could it be his season? There's only one way to find out, and that is to watch roughly 1,000 hours more of BSL content, or to just tune into the finals. But you kind of want to watch all on your way there. So we got to figure out which player will be the first player eliminated from Group A of the round of 16. And to do that, we have one more series. We have 2 more series, but this is the series that's going to determine that. So this is going to be Ty2 versus gOrynich, and a ZZZ with just such contrasting styles. I don't know what to expect, because like I mean, it's so hard to characterize Ty2 because he's like changes up his style quite a bit all the time, and gOrynich just looks like a monster. Of course, keep in mind, best performance yet, making round of 8 last season. So he is certainly incredibly strong.
Yeah, we already saw Ty2 play versus Babo, and Ty2 had an interesting, more macro-oriented ZVZ, whereas last season, gOrynich is the one that eliminated Eonzerd, and those were aggro games, so we'll have to see which style is going to come out on top, more passive Ty2 style, or is it going to be gOrynich? Try and find an opening with those mutas.
Well, I just hope it makes it to Game 3 so we can see another game on Power Bond. But in all seriousness, I actually think that it could be pretty impactful, just for my understanding of what this series could deliver. Just because, I mean, I would say that maybe gOrynich is the stronger player on paper, but also Ty2 can just make any game just the weirdest. So I don't know. There's a lot of potential here. I mean, the first map we play is Gladiator, so if they're cross spawns, we just might have a macro game. I don't know.
It's very true. Gladiator is one of the bigger maps. We could definitely see a macro game. I think I watched an STP. Didn't we just watch an STPL game that you were casting rapid where there was like a sunken push? Wasn't there?
Okay, that was the stupidest thing I've ever seen. Don't remind me that exists. The SCPL games lately, I mean, I'm not saying don't watch them, but like some of these games, man, whoa. Yeah, I remember that. I was like, you just drone rushed the guy, and I'm just like, that's not how you play StarCraft, but I guess sometimes it is. So it's truly anything can happen. Only way we can find out is by getting in the game. We're both in the lobby, so let's go. Game number 1 of our 4th best of 3 of the night. This is going to be gOrynich versus Ty2. The winner stays alive. The loser is eliminated from the BSL Season 7. All right, here we go. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Let me pull up my color palette 1 second. In the upper left-hand corner of the map, Gladiator in the orange. This is one of our Zerg players. This just happens to be Ty2.
In the bottom left, this is the black color. It is gOrynich. Yeah, so even though you didn't like the Sunken Rush game, I enjoyed that game. There's a lot of old ZVZs tactics that I wish more people would use. Like, I'm reminded of a very old player. His name was Skeleton. This guy, he would go like evolution chamber first, rush +1 weapon on his wings, and just mass speed lane you to death.
Oh my gosh, what? Oh, it was a different time back then. Holy wow. Okay, well, I can be happy I didn't get a chance to witness that. So, maybe it's lost to time. Years from now, they'll unearth it like the pottery ruins in Pompeii and see the volcano of tragedy that game was that covered it up. Lost to time. There's my historical analogy for you in that terrible game. But we could have some wonderful games ahead of us here too. ZVZ, anything can happen. But Ty2 is getting a little bit lucky with an early scout.
Well, we see gOrynich going for 12 pool, and Ty2 is going to go for 12 gas. And remember last time we saw Ty2, he was the one that had an in-base hatch. So already differing from what he showed in the round of 24. And gOrynich is going to follow up with quick gas. So he's going to be the one that's going to be aggressive as expected. But the longer the game goes, Ty2 is going to have the advantage.
Yeah, I really like this, and I think that for Ty2, this is definitely. I would say the games that Ty2 12 hatches on are high, because he is very good at sustaining through Muta harass, which is just really kind of a weird sentence to say because Mutas just kind of kill everything. But no, not when Ty2 is playing. He could spore up and take it to the late game if he feels so inclined.
Yeah, but he's got to be very careful because mutas are going to give you access into or allow you to fight on the ramp area. And if you can get enough kills or push the Lings out of position, then you can just flood in there. So Ty2's going to have to be careful. And I already hate gOrynich's spawning pool position. Look at it. It's been glitching out the drones the whole time, even glitching out his Lings. And I'm just imagining Ty2 builds a round of mass Lings and then just like 3 or 4 Lings glitch out there and gOrynich somehow doesn't win a fight. That would be a heartbreaker.
I'm watching these Lings and that is actually triggering me. Okay, finally they get out there, but geez Louise. Imagine if those 2 Lings were with the other 5 Lings that are up out on the map. And of course there's that 1 Ling in the lead. But yeah, slow Lings suck. So just gonna run up and run back. But hey, at least he scouts the hatchery, right?
Yeah, and I'm looking at the pool or the speed timing, the lair timing. They're basically very similar. So that scenario that I'm talking about where there's a couple Lings just screwing around in the main, that could really come back to haunt gOrynich because he's going to have speed for like 10 seconds, an advantage over Ty2. But other than that, there's no advantage with his build. Everything is very in favor of Ty2.
Well, I think both players can kind of figure out. We're just going to play the back and forth, the do-si-do. Whoa, Ty2, a little bit out there on the map. Definitely do not want to take too many bad trades. He's got a home field advantage and more Zerglings flooding in, so he finally takes a little bit of a good one. And there's no more Zerglings coming out on the map for gOrynich. He's actually squeezing in an extra drone back at home.
Yeah, and Ty2's got an overwhelming amount of Lings. He may just run by this Sunken. No, he's not going to risk it, but he is powering also. He put in a couple more drones himself. And he does put down his Spire, and gOrynich is going to match the Spire timing. Uh-oh.
Yep.
His drone didn't build it.
Wait, what? Oh, no. Was he just, like, out of resource? Oh, okay, there it is, finally. Whoa! That was almost tragic, man. The number of times I watch people build buildings that don't build, ugh, too high.
Yeah, sometimes you don't realize it. You're just like, well, I'm not used to having this extra 100 resources. I guess I've been mining really well this game, and then you look and you don't have a depot or you don't have a factory and you're like, come on, man, I'd put that down. And that would be terrible in ZZZ, even for just a few seconds.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think the big thing in ZVZ is whether or not you are too timid to go for mutas because you just died to Zerglings. I would say that there is a massively, well, not massively because it's 26 to 23 supply, but like it seems like there's way more Zerglings out for gOrynich. I don't know if that's just a side effect of him having the black Zergling color or if he actually has that many more. I'm going to say it's just an illusion, but neither player really wants to extend too far out of the map and actually fight each other. So this is going to be kind of a cool stalemate, but let's see about the gas timings. Going to have about halfway done on the extractor there for gOrynich, and Ty2 actually, yeah, similar timing for his.
Yep, almost identical drone counts. Okay, and actually are identical drone counts. Oh, Ty2 did a supply trick with a creep colony just to get out an extra something. Maybe it was one more Muta, Scourge, something like that. Here comes gOrynich. He wants to get something done with these Lings, but I think he's just going to run into a disaster.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think this is going to go too well for him. Ooh, a little bit of hesitation there as gOrynich retreats. I do love that Ty2 is sending little pockets of the mutas out onto the map to catch out these overlords. And oh no, he left it with 1 HP.
Well, he also underestimated that gOrynich built a lot more Lings than him, and there's just an instant counterattack as soon as he saw the mutas. Even a drone pull being made, that's a lot of lost mining time.
I mean, eventually these lings are going to get cleaned up. Maybe the lost mining time matters. Maybe it doesn't. But there's mutas killing drones, and that definitely matters. 13 now for Ty2. gOrynich up by 2.
Yep, lings are still having to deal, or mutas are still having to deal with these lings in the main. Meanwhile, lings at the natural have shut it down. They're not mining there. And gOrynich, who I thought was in a pretty bad spot, now he's even going to pick off a straggler muta that went to his main. This is all falling apart for Ty2.
Yeah, I don't really see Ty2. I feel like there's certain inexorable truths of ZVZ, and that is that if you have the opportunity to fight muta versus muta, you only ever do it when you are positive you will win, because otherwise you just straight up lose. So, well, Ty2, let's see what he's on. 8, and gOrynich is on, where's our muta count? 5 plus Scourge. 6 now. 7, okay. So it's going to be similar by the time Ty2 gets here. Let's see how good these Scourge hits are going to be.
Yeah, it's all going to come down to the Scourge and the muta micro from Ty2. Here he comes. He's got even amounts of mutas, so this is not going to be good for him. Here he goes. Good hits so far. No damage done from the Scourge. So really good control.
Wow, okay. And I don't think that's going to stop here. He's going to go right back in. Look at the Scourge, the hits, the connections. Actually, one of them does hit, but one hits right back on the other side. Who wins? Just stand still. Isn't it better to stand still when you're muta on muta? Because otherwise you micro and might lose a couple of seconds. Or Scourge coming through. I think that is actually a connection by Ty2. In the end of the day, it's 6 versus 4. Ty2 should not be chasing that.
Yeah, he's got to be careful. Meanwhile, Ling back at the natural has 6 kills. So gOrynich dealing a lot of damage with just a couple links, and that's a huge deal for him because he continues to mine this natural. He's mined 700 gas from there. Meanwhile, Ty2 has only mined 400.
Wow. That one of those numbers is more than the other. But here we go. We've got the entire flock of mutas coming in, taking out drones, and just very vulnerable here. Ty2 leaving his mineral line unprotected. He's down to 11 drones.
Yeah, Ty2's he probably just has to all in now. He has so many Scourge, it's going to be impossible to control all these Scourge. And meanwhile, gOrynich has way more mutas. It's 9-5. I don't really know how Ty2 can win a fight.
I mean, what do you do to win? Maybe you catch off like at an angle, you get a couple of like micro shots that your opponent doesn't get, but oh no, more drones going down here. This is like strangulation. gOrynich just little by little catching Ty2 out. Now finally, he's gonna pick off a muta like almost as it spawns. How good's the micro? Oh wow, look at all these Scourge connections. What? I still don't think it's enough.
Yeah, there's just too many mutas for gOrynich. It's gonna be 8 versus 3, and this could be Ty2. Yep, going down in the first game. GG.
Wow, what a game. I think that basically kind of lived up to my expectations. Both players hold off each other, go for basically the same build. It looks a little bit volatile, but in the end, the player with the more mutas wins. So.
Yep, gOrynich looked good. I liked how instantly he sees the mutas and counters with those lings, which is what I was expecting, you remember, SPX to do in the Terran versus Zerg series. And that's what happens. You're out of position for a second, you just get punished extremely hard.
Yeah, that punish was actually so fast. He sees the mutas a little bit out of position with just massive amounts of links. And then he also killed quite a few drones with mutas, just getting in there, sniping and running away. Because Ty2's mutas, they were out chasing overlords. Like, it's cool if you killed the overlord. But he didn't kill the overlord. He left it with like 5 HP. So probably some things to think about that might just haunt him a little bit as we go farther in the series. Because, yeah, Ty2 one game away from being eliminated from BSL.
Yep, and that would be a heartbreaker because Ty2 is one of the best North American players in general, not just North American Zerg, just flat out one of the best in North America. So for him to be eliminated that quickly, it's going to all come down to just Jaeyoon in the US.
Oh wow, that's right. He's our help us, Jaeyoon. You might be our final hope. But no, in all seriousness, Ty2 definitely has the ability to come back here, but gOrynich just looks so solid. Let's get into game number 2. It's going to be on ground 0. So if you're a Ty2 fan, you got to channel some of that energy his way. If you're a gOrynich fan, well, just hope for business as usual. So thanks for watching, everybody. Let's get into game number 2 on ground 0. All right, let's get into it. This is our second game in this lower bracket or losers best of 3. In the upper right-hand corner in the orange, as Zerg, this is Ty2.
And in the bottom right, he's one game away from making it into a rematch versus Dragon. It is gOrynich. Well, we've already got a differing scouting pattern. gOrynich going horizontal, Ty2 going vertical, and that's going to be pretty ideal for Ty2.
Yeah, I guess when you think about it, for Ty2, he's gotten the scout both times. Man, scouting first in ZVZ, like, it's just hacks. Like, you just see everything, and they can't do anything about it until Mutas comes. So they just get to have all that information. And obviously, you're going to send your second Overlord probably the opposite direction that you didn't scout first. So eventually, you'll get there. But then maybe by that time, your Overlord just dies to Mutas.
Yeah, and scouting with the Overlord or getting the first scout is so important because you're going to have full vision, whereas the other player has no full vision. I'm remembering a time when I used to play Zerg, and the only map that existed was Lost Temple. And me and Day 9, we played 12 versus 3, and because we scouted each other so quickly, it was basically who was going to be the first one to put down the spawning pool. Because if you put down the spawning pool first, that could have been almost a hatchery, right? There's no reason to build a spawning pool when you know what the other player is doing. You just power, 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 power. I'd like to see another map like that that's very close spawn so we could see some different ZVZ styles. I'm pretty sure if people scouted as fast as what I was talking about with 12 versus 3, you would see very long games in ZVZ.
Yeah, I actually miss long ZVZ games. Like, late game ZVZ is some of my favorite StarCraft to watch just because you, A, don't get a chance to see it all that often, and B, it is just so dynamic. You've got these gigantic, crazy air armies, random devourers, queens, like some defilers trying to ruin people's days, and then eventually, like, everything just dies. It's spectacular. It's like a fireworks show because there's like 8 different colors of goo flying everywhere, and then everything blows up. You're like, yes, this is good. But very, very hard to get to because the game is just balanced on a knife's edge. Both players want to kill each other so badly. They've just got different ways of doing it for the most part. But I do think that coming into this, Ty2 obviously is back up against the wall. He's got to pull out that MJ's secret stuff to get any further. But I think he definitely has the potential. So let's keep an eye on lair timings. Already halfway done for Ty2.
Yeah, Ty2 is the one being super aggressive this time. This looks very similar to what he did on Power Bond. We've got another in-base hatch, and we saw how Ty2 used it when he had this opener. He didn't go for a killing move versus Babo. He just sat. We may be setting up for another scenario where slowly Ty2 take his natural, take a third base even. But gOrynich already has a natural, but Babo also already had a natural, and he really couldn't get that to work out for him very well, so can't count Ty2 out just yet. Did that Ling get in? I think there was a Ling that got in, and he saw the opener from Ty2. I'm surprised that a Ling was able to get up that ramp.
Yeah, honestly, I was not watching that ramp at the exact moment, and I panned over and I didn't see a blood splatter, so it was definitely my bad. A little bit sluggish after long day. There's Taiwan and South Korea and now casting in the middle of the night, so I'm gonna miss some Lings every once in a while, but for sure the Overlord is gonna get in, and that will absolutely scout this hatchery. Coming up in the main, Ty2 really liking this build, but I'm not sure how often I see it pay off.
Well, his Spire's extremely fast. The lair's just about to finish for gOrynich, and the Spire is already 400 out of 600 done for Ty2, so he's gonna have really strong air advantage. But gOrynich wants to make something happen with these Lings. It seems like he's not content with just sitting at the bottom. Oh, I guess he's sitting for now, but he needs to get his evolution chamber up pretty soon because those mutas are going to be coming out very quickly.
Yeah, he's really got to start ramping it up. I always love answering my questions by having other people do those builds. Like, all right, well, how's that in-base hatchery working? Is that going to be it? I mean, it's certainly less vulnerable, but you're not going to be able to mine from it, and you're certainly not getting a second gas. So, good luck, Ty2. 5 mutas on the way, and already gOrynich setting up with an Evo chamber.
Yep, first colony coming down. And Bobo built his colonies a little out of position on Power Bond. I'm kind of feeling the same way right now. Sure, these colonies are covering the front, but what about that exposed extractor? He's going to need another colony there, and then we haven't even talked about the main. There's 2 colonies in the main. That's a lot of resources to be spending.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, let's keep an eye on these 5 mutas. They're coming across the map. Right now, as soon as these hits, that's obviously when they are most potent, but hey, there's already a spore colony up and running. Although the high ground behind the mineral line, all you gotta do is just pick off single drones, and each drone is so important.
There's another colony. There goes drone number 1, number 2 down. These colonies in the main, I like them in the main.
Yeah, 11 and 14, now 11 and 10, or 14 and 10. A lot of damage being taken on these mutas. Only 4 in this clump. Maybe you can pick another avenue to dodge in on in that natural expansion, but those drones are very well defended for sure.
And gOrynich has spent so many resources on these creep colonies that he's just building Scourge at this point. And Ty2 doesn't have an overwhelming amount of mutas right now. The Scourge definitely could hit like that muta right there. Oh.
Figure it out, but I think at this point, I mean, what is the I don't want to say, what's the right way to say this? Do I say comeback mechanic, slingshot mechanic for gOrynich? Like, obviously he's biding his time, but I mean, when do you go? Do you just like try to chill on 2 bases? Because I mean, Ty2 expanded and he's got an extra hatch.
Yeah, this build looks so weird from Ty2, but the 2 times I've seen it now, is this like a blind counter to 12 hatch? Because in theory, it doesn't really make sense that it would be a blind counter, but you have 3 hatches. The 12 hatching player has to spend so many resources on these colonies that they can't afford mutas. So then you just power extremely high or hard as Ty2, and you have a larva advantage. And you can see he's already ahead in supply now. Way ahead in supply.
Yeah, I was going to say, especially the drone count, I mean, that's a little bit more even, but it's about what you've used the drones to make, and that is just way more stuff.
Yeah, so what does gOrynich really do at this point? Also, this colony in his main is jacking up his gas mining a little bit, so that's a bit tilting. And Ty2...
Oh, yeah, you're right. Oh my gosh, that's horrendous.
Yeah, both players are getting carapace though, so that means that they're feeling confident that they're not going to be dying in the early game or the early mid game. So definitely scaling into the late game. We don't see a 3rd base from Ty2. We saw that versus Bobo. Now that his econ's really rolling at the natural, he's got 10 drones mining minerals basically. He could take a 3rd base.
Yeah, he is kind of rolling in it at this point. I mean, 3rd bases in ZVZ are almost harder to take than natural expansions in PvP. Like, they are just so scary. And I love every time I start to think about, like, well, this player could do this crazy, wacky thing. The player that just keeps building mutas wins. I'm just like, okay, wow. Is there any strategy that just beats infinity mutas? And the answer is, like, I mean, not many. Mutas are pretty good. More mutas is pretty better.
Well, I'm trying to see what gOrynich's plan is, because he's getting armor, as I stated, but we don't have any mutas up. They're just going to start popping out now. And look how many mutas Ty2 has. He's got like
Jeez.
15.
I'm trying to control click, but it doesn't work for some reason. I guess, yeah, there's just infinity mutas here. So at least 2 control groups of mutas. Going to try to start controlling them together, and I'm just waiting to see, like, what is the response from gOrynich, because you know he's not going to have that many anytime soon.
Yeah, I'm checking to see, is any player going to go for Lake? Ooh, what's this? We've got Evolution Chamber upgrading Hydra damage. But there's no Hydra. No Hydra then. What?
Wait, what? Sorry, I think I forgot or not forgot, but I just like lost you there for a second.
Oh, I said that there's an Evolution Chamber upgrading Hydra damage but there was no hydrogen. But in the main of gOrynich, now we've got a hydrogen coming down, even a 4th hatch. So this is going to be Hydra Man. TT1 in the chat. Maybe TT1 is playing for gOrynich right now.
I like Hydras, yes, they shoot up, they do a lot of damage, but like usually they're too immobile. And so mutas just like either fly around or kind of pull them apart. I would say the longer this game goes on, the better it is for Ty2, right? So all he's got to do is chill.
Yeah, Hydras, I'm pretty sure, deal half damage to mutas. They're not even that great versus mutas. I don't think. The last time I saw Hydras in CVZ was years ago, but I'm pretty sure that they're not the greatest versus mutas. I think mutas just straight up win versus mass Hydras, unless we're talking, 100 Hydras versus like 50 mutas. That might be a little different.
Yeah, that's a little bit one-sided, but yeah, picking off the one Zergling that was scouting this 9 o'clock or 3 o'clock expansion, and look at what's happening for gOrynich. He's running all of his drones out on the map, and I think he's trying to catch this one. Either he's catching the Zergling or he's trying to make a secret ninja expansion.
Yeah, I think he wants to take bottom left. There was no vision down there. Now this one Ling is he's gonna have not killed the drone. But meanwhile, Ty2's mid-right base it's done. And that's going to be 3 gas for him, but he's still on Flare Tech. I would like to see something like Hive Tech coming in. Like,
you really think he can make it up to Hive? Like, oh man, it takes so long, and I agree. Like, all the stuff you get at Hive Tech is great for muta versus muta.
Yeah, but also gOrynich, these Lings that just got sent out is the first movement he's done the entire game. Well, I guess that does make you kind of worried, right? Like, we don't know, or Ty2 doesn't know what gOrynich is doing. The whole time gOrynich could have been building mass mutas, potentially more mutas. So I don't mind him not spending the resources on the
Well, and that's the thing. It's like, you have to win this game by doing whatever is better than just building infinity mutas, because the muta production has not stopped for Ty2, and he's finished +1 carapace, and he's about to finish +1 weapons.
And +1 weapon for the Hydras are done. He's got range and speed. He's starting +2. Meanwhile, Ty2 has +1 armor. He has +1 weapon coming in. He also has an evolution chamber. No Queen's Nest. No Hydrogen. I wonder what the evolution chamber is for. Okay, I guess it is just for spores at mid-right.
Yeah, I guess he's going to try to create a base to sort of use as a staging area to start harassing. And honestly, like, build one Guardian, start taking out this drone line. Yeah, that's the way you do it. Probably not, actually. But yeah, we still have yet to see Hive. Well, yeah, 1-1 just finishing up for Ty2's mutas. He has got, let's see, like 2 full control groups of mutas at least. And I love what he's doing. He's spreading out Lings all over the map to like every single base, every single corner. It's amazing.
Well, he just found the Hydras at the front and almost took a bit of damage there. And now what's he going to do knowing that there's Hydras out on the map? Instantly puts down a lot of Sunkens. But, Sunkens can only deal so much. But he at least has kept gOrynich back in his main. gOrynich, he tried to take bottom left, but it got denied. And now Ty2 comes in here and sees that, yeah, at least he's still on Lair Tech. If he came in and saw that it was Hydra with Hive, with Defilers, Ty2's dead.
Oh, yeah, no, for sure, 1000%. But also, Ty2 is dead if he missteps with these mutas and loses like a million drones or something. So, super important to keep those in the right position. And actually, I would love to see him like pull back a few of these Lings and put them kind of just on the periphery of just where all of gOrynich's mutas are, because vision of your opponent's mutas is so gigantic. Or, in this case, vision of your opponent's Hydras. Here come in the 1-1 mutas from Ty2. Definitely does not want to overextend into that many Hydras.
No, he does not, but he's getting a few drone kills. He's whittling down gOrynich's econ a little bit, but that is a lot of Hydras. And now we're actually going to see whether mutas beat Hydras, because I know mutas beat Hydras in moderate numbers, but we're approaching critical mass of the Hydras. This is so many Hydras.
Wow. I'm almost wondering if Hydras like this are like the hype tech Zergling. Like, you know, sometimes you can circumvent your opponent's mutas by just killing them with Zerglings. Well, now there's a million Hydras everywhere. So, I mean, I think attacking into a million Hydras is obviously bad, right? Kind of.
Well, also something I just realized is it's not like Ty2 has any buffer for the mutas. There's no lings to soak up hits. It's just gonna be both players headbutting versus each other, mass muta versus Hydras in the ball, and Ty2 counterattack instantly, wipes out the drone line, and now retreats, and gOrynich is in a bit of trouble, because with Sunken support, Ty2 should definitely win this fight.
I'm waiting. I'm waiting. All right, here we go. It looks like he's trying to pick off reinforcements right now. He's finding quite a few, but look at all these overlords moving diagonally on the map. They're actually about to run right over a Zergling, and almost certainly, but actually he's attacking at the same time. Here we go. Hydras versus mutas, but the Hydras are actually fighting in range of those Sunkens. The Sunkens dealing quite a bit of damage, but you can't fight Hydra DPS with mutas. It's too good. The Hydras. gOrynich is winning the game.
Holy, these Hydras are crushing everything. Like, the mutas just vaporized. So we got our answer. Is this it? Is this over? Ty2 has, what, 15 mutas versus, I don't even know.
Just micro them. Just micro the mutas. Like, that's what they do. They don't fight straight up. He's actually going for a little bit of a counterattack to stop the Hydras that were trying to attack the 12 o'clock location. But he just lost his entire natural. He's going to lose his main to the Hydras. What?
Now Lings are trying to come back to support these mutas. At least Ty2 wiped out the natural of gOrynich, so his econ did get punished really hard. And with Ling support, Ty2 can win this fight. He's got a lot of mutas still. He's still got a lot of mutas, but these Lings have to come in and buffer.
Targeting down the Evo chamber. It's not actually relevant, but it will control whether or not you can build spores, which are obviously pretty important. Although I would say spines may be more important against that many Hydras. And kind of biding his time here. I wonder what the play is for Ty2. Like, does he just try to micro his way out of here? Or, I mean, is there a way out of here? I don't know. He's going to lose everything eventually.
Well, now he engages, but he just lost everything. I am confused why he waited, but here we go. Hydras versus mutas. The mutas do win this time. I just don't understand why he waited so long. Maybe he had more mutas coming out at his third base, but he does save it. And now gOrynich did lose a lot. Look at supply, 60 to 47. And all these overlords that were just randomly there, he's going to pick them off too.
Sorry, I also timed out there for a second. I'm not sure whether this is technical or mental timeout, because I'm definitely experiencing a little bit of the both. My apologies, but I'm still waiting for the, do we call this climactic or anticlimactic finish to the game? Because I guess gOrynich is still mining, still got a base. I guess same thing for Ty2, right? So
yeah, Ty2, they both have bases. I'm worried about Ty2's larva, and also I'm worried that he has 7 mutas in his main that he doesn't see.
Oh no, you're right. What? Ty2. Oh man, that hurts.
Well, also the issue is that there's no Spire anymore for Ty2, and we see gOrynich building mutas. Wow, yeah,
he's trying to target down the spores, but he's just not using all of his mutas, and now he has to run away. Oh my god. Once he finds out about those mutas in his main, he's got to be kicking himself.
Yeah, I don't know if he could go for a killing blow even with the mutas, but he needs to definitely whittle down the Hydra and muta count, because gOrynich just is pumping mutas now, now that he knows the lair is gone.
Well, the lair will be back in just a little bit, and then of course the muta count can, regain its former glory. He's finally found the rest of the mutas, so now he has a gigantic wall of mutas, trying to micro them all together, but of course there's just quite a few. Runs forward, snipes the spore colony as it's building, so I actually think he's found a really sick sweet spot, or I guess pain point for gOrynich, that he can try to just really hammer home.
Yeah, Ty2, what's he gonna do? He puts down Spire again. He's gonna continue to go mass muta. I don't really see any other option for him. Man, it sucks that he lost the main. Even if he just kept that and the gas was depleted, he at least could mine some more gas. And now gOrynich, he's just always gonna have more gas now. He's got 2 still available.
Unless there's some godlike micro here from Ty2, I think gOrynich will just eventually, slowly but steadily, kind of regain his foothold in this game. And I think finally this is going to be like one of the main engagements right now. Although I still think gOrynich has maybe a little bit fewer mutas, if not just more hydras, you know?
I'm taking a look at drone count. 22 to 13, really in favor of
yeah.
Now, and we saw how effective those hydras are. That just the longer the game goes, the higher the hydra count gets, and then gOrynich can take another base, whereas Ty2, I don't think he can ever take another base. Well, as I say that, he's trying to retake his natural.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not even sure retaking his natural is the best move here. Like, maybe go for a sneakier base way out there. I mean, obviously that's kind of a risk, but I think maybe now is risk-taking territory. After he had such a good position, kind of threw it away a little bit. Now he's got a bunch of mutas, but, you know, he's all dressed up, nowhere to go.
And these hydras, they're at 2-1 now, so they have even more upgrades than they did before. gOrynich's mutas have +1 armor also. Meanwhile, Ty2's upgrades are 2-1 himself. He needs to get more pickoffs like this. He's doing a real good job microing 2 muta groups. Like, you don't see that very often.
No, this is like some Lita stuff, like some Zero stuff. Like, microing 2 groups of mutas is not easy at all. Especially when, if you miss micro either one of those, then all of a sudden they like run into a group of hydras and they all die. It's like, ugh, that would be painful to watch. But I like how gOrynich is playing this, kind of just slow and steadily, winning race after race. Actually does catch gOrynich's mutas. Ty2 pulling back. He's found another opportunity to just dish out a little bit of damage here and there. I think Ty2's mutas, his muta control, actually looks a little bit better, dare I say.
Yeah, it's pretty damn good. And what does gOrynich want to do with his hydras? He still doesn't know about top right. If he went there, he would probably kill it. But if he went and killed it, Ty2 might just counterattack. And we might just have a straight up base trade scenario.
Yeah, you can't you know, poke the monster, poke the beast until it you know, starts poking back. So maybe just forego that for now. I do like the splitting off of just a little bit of mutas to try to harass a little bit. But I'm just worried that like both players are trying like little tiny cute things. But finally, Ty2 is making a deep dive towards gOrynich's base, but decides to pull back at the last second. This game is so sick, so close. Neither player is really willing to do almost anything. And now, oh, gotta watch out for the hydras. Gets away without any casualties. Wow, this is so crazy. 80 to 93 supply. There's that pigeon meme, right? Where the guy looks up and he sees something that's not one thing, and he's like, is this late game ZZZ? I'm like, well, I guess, like, one player doesn't have a main base, and they're still only building nothing but mutas, but one player has a huge Hydra army. I'm just like, okay, sure, yeah, this is late game ZVZ.
Well, gOrynich found the natural and sees that there's a sunken. Now, will that trigger him to just go instantly kill it? Because we saw what happened when Ty2 was out of position last game. He just got Ling countered. And if gOrynich gets out of position, he would lose everything, and it would be Ty2 on high ground with something. So both players playing extremely cautious. gOrynich does have his mineral only going up. Okay, here he goes. gOrynich, he's moving way out of position. This might be a huge mistake.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you can really just one-shot these spores and kill almost everything here. There are 4 spores, although depending on your angle, you can take those out a little bit faster. But given that that gOrynich is so far out of position, let's see how Ty2 wants to handle this.
I think we're going to have base trade. As soon as he sees these hydras, we already saw how the fight went down the first time. There's no way Ty2's going to try and fight this. No way. Is he?
Yeah. I mean, I think I would concur. I mean, his muta micro is probably, yeah, way up there. I mean, top 10 for sure. He's just I'm waiting to see the hydras, though, taking out building by building by building. I mean, eventually there will not be any buildings left. He's going to kill off this. Also, there's a hidden drone up there for some reason. But I like that gOrynich is finally finding a way to, really deal some crazy damage. Now, Ty2's responding by taking out a hidden, well, maybe not hidden, hatchery down at the 530 base. Now he's coming back. Can he make it back and find some vulnerable pickoffs? I don't think either player really has what it takes to replace the army that they have. So this is kind of all they got.
Well, Rapid, look at the natural for gOrynich. He's about to mine out. And
holy cow.
Then he can't build any more units. And meanwhile, mid-fight has tons of resources. If Ty2 just camps, does he win?
I mean, he will be mining. It's a mineral only, though. Oh, no, it's not. No, it's not. I'm actually so stupid. Okay, yeah, no, never mind. So, yeah, I guess he can just camp here forever. Obviously, high ground is incredibly effective against Hydras, not against Mutas. So, suck it, Hydras. You're still bad. But, I mean, they're so good that Ty2 can't fight into them without just exploding. So, I think, honestly, if gOrynich uses his Hydra's defense... Oh, okay, that's not the fight you want to take, for sure. If gOrynich uses his Hydras defensively to get up another base with a gas in it, I think that's the play. But he's still going to try to siege this, low to high ground. I don't know if that's it.
Yeah, well, this has got to be the fight of the game, right? The Sunkens are doing work, but there's so many of them that really not that many Hydras have to be ranging the Sunken. He can just blast the Mutas every time they come in. gOrynich trying to get up there.
He sure is. I think he's actually doing an excellent job, but he might just run out. Like, these Hydras are precious. It's a meat grinder. He can't fight into the Sunkens and the Mutas, and so many of his Hydras are just not fighting at all.
Yeah, they're not fighting at all. And there is something we just saw at bottom left that gOrynich sent a Muta scouting the entire bottom side, but it wasn't on attack move. So this hatchery that Ty2 just put up, gOrynich doesn't think anything is going on.
I mean, I'm pretty sure something's going on. Now, I'm not the expert here, but this is so crazy. I'm getting wiggly, man. This is amazing. Like, if Ty2 is able to pull this off, even if it's just for minerals, like, I mean, how crazy is that? What even? I've never seen a game like this. I was talking about how Ty2 is able to, like, bunker down and get those sunken or the spores up and take it late. Well, it's taken late, but gOrynich was actually the one to get those spores up and running. Oh.
If this hatch dies and gOrynich cancels it, he will not have 300 minerals. He's going to have less. And he's not mining. He's mined out.
Oh, my God. Yeah, he has drones idle in his main, drones idle in his natural. He has no more minerals for gOrynich. And the longer Ty2 can turtle on this high ground base, he's killing it.
Oh. He's going to try and transfer drones, and they're getting locked up. I'm waiting to see if Ty2 can pick off any of them, but they're going to long distance mine for now.
Oh my God.
Oh, we got some more.
Yeah. Imagine picking off a drone transfer with Mutas and ZVZ. What even? Some pretty good micro against the Scourge here as well, but oh, he runs past the Scourge. God, Scourge are so dumb. It's actually unreal. But yeah, great micro here by Ty2. He's continuing to impress. The Hydras are too slow. They can't chase the Mutas in time, and now he's going to be able to circle back around and maybe even pick off more drones.
He's going to knock gOrynich down to 9 drones. And Ty2, like I said, that Muta that went by right next to this mineral only, he has the mineral only. And gOrynich has no idea. He's starting to build drones. I think Ty2's done it. If he just spams Sunkens now,
I can't believe he got that base at the 6 to pop. Like, how does that not get scouted? That is the most insane, crazy stupidness that I've ever seen. And now, yeah, just spam drones, build infinity Sunkens down here, and you basically just win the game from mining.
Oh, these Hydras that are patrolling outside of the mineral only. I'm praying that gOrynich goes off to the mineral only, like try and anticipate an interception. But Ty2 smartly is sending his Mutas into the main to keep the Hydras on that side of the map. Make sure they never go to the left side until those Sunkens get up.
I'm waiting. These Sunkens are the lifeblood of this base. They are the only thing that is keeping that thing from spontaneously combusting at the sight of a Hydralisk that comes out and find them. But actually, honestly, after assaulting that high ground 3 o'clock base, the Hydra count is not that big. I mean, sure, they do have really good upgrades, 2-2 with speed and range. Like, that's no joke. But the muta count continues to grow. And finally, we have more mutas in production for Ty2. They've got +2-2 as well.
Ty2's done it. He's got the mineral only. This mineral only has 6 patches. The econ for gOrynich, even if he saturates it completely, is not good at all. And meanwhile, Ty2 has 2 bases. He's got 16 drones. Just needs to start mining this mineral only. Oh, I feel so bad for gOrynich.
Oh, he's actually not mining the mineral only. He's just got 2 idle drones down there. Oh, I was talking about Ty2. You were talking about gOrynich, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm also trying to not die to mosquitoes too. So we're multitasking over here. But I think gOrynich understands. He knows exactly what to do. But let's check these mutas. Is he going to see? Oh, yeah, he flies over the Sunkens. He sees it.
Yeah, now what does he do? He can't attack it. It's another choke, just like mid-right.
Oh, geez. You know, I was talking about Ground Zero as if it was like this, you know, wide open crazy map, but these little pockets on the side, I guess they're pretty easy to defend, right?
Yeah, funneling units in through the ground. gOrynich doesn't know how long it's been up either. We know that it just started basically, but he might think that it's been being mined for a while.
That would be quite the misconception. Man, this is so crazy. We have gone to the place where the players are both mining mineral-only bases next to each other. So even though they have a bunch of gas units, it'll eventually just come down to a massive amount of Zerglings.
Yeah, the main and natural gOrynich is mined out for gas. He can't even really build Hydras now, because look how slow his gas goes up.
Oh, my
slow.
Goodness. Get me off Mr. ZVZ's wild ride here, my Nyokin. This is a 32-minute ZVZ, and we still haven't gone past Lair Tech.
And Ty2 was on 1 hatch for 30 minutes.
Oh my gosh. Ty2's actually expanding again to the 9 o'clock location right now, and that has some promise in it, because it's got a gas, it's way out there. If you ever try to kill it, you're so far out of position, you just can't.
Yeah, exactly. So gOrynich, I don't see how he can win this game. Anytime the Hydras come in here, the mutas can just fly over ledges and leave. So the Hydras, they were great in the early stages. Now, really not working out for him.
Well, I think eventually it has to come down to like one epic Armageddon, right? Or are they just, I mean, eventually Ty2 will just win from economy, right? He's even getting that 9 o'clock base up. So really cool deep dives here by Ty2 to just pick off one building, pick off another building, little bit by little bit, chipping away.
Yeah, it's just a matter of time. If gOrynich had this mineral income along with the gas geysers not being depleted, I think he would have a chance, because he at least could build Hydras consistently then. But he can't even build Hydras because flat out 0 gas income for him.
Wow, 0. I mean, it's depleted, right?
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's so depleted. Like, look how slow it goes up. And also, remember, the spore colonies are jacking up the main.
Oh, yeah, that's right. So it's even slower.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Well, that is just truly the utter tragedy. So here we go. gOrynich, I think he's just going to say, screw it, let's do it. Go for it. He is moving up towards the... Okay, never mind.
Here he goes.
Oh, he flew over the 9 o'clock base. So I think he's just going to try to go kill that.
Well, one Sunken is going to come up, maybe 2. This Overlord's buying time in the middle. Every second definitely matters, but I don't think it really matters, because Ty2 has 24 mutas here. That's a lot.
Wow. All right, well, here we go. I think we might see it. Again, trying to break up to the high ground. This is exactly what almost cost gOrynich the game earlier, and I think he might just lose it again from this almost exactly the same thing. Some incredibly highly uprated mutas from Ty2 just baiting gOrynich little bit by little bit into a sunken wall, and this is exactly where Ty2 wants to fight. And slowly but surely, the Hydras go down. gOrynich, GG's out, and Ty2 will take the craziest ZVZ I have ever watched to tie the series up at 1-1.
Yeah, that's up there for crazy ZVZs. How do you recover from that rapid? You lose your main, you lose your natural, you're on one base mining, the opponent has a better army comp than you, and you still win?
I don't know. I'm at a loss for words. What do you even do? I don't know how I'm going to recover from that. Like, honestly, this has been the craziest. I just earlier, like this morning, I was casting a tournament in another country in Taiwan. Then coming back, GSL, afterwards, now I'm here casting this. Now it's 5 a.m. I don't know what my life is, but I definitely don't know what either one of those players' lives are. I am so incapable and underprepared for what I just watched. I'm pretty sure there were just like some glaring, horrific flaws to those games, but I don't even care because both players were just doing all the craziness. I'm just like, I let Jesus take the wheel a long time ago with that broadcast. So there's still a third game in this series. So maybe this is the gift that keeps on giving, you know?
We might get another one like that whose Power Bond as a third game. Ty2 might play the same build. I would play the same build. It worked out very well.
I did say I wanted to see a game 3 just because it was Power Bond, so my wish has been answered. What more could I possibly ask for? Here we go. Okay, I'm ready. I just gotta watch it. Okay, so if there's minimal commentary, it's just because my mouth is open and I'm just watching the greatness here. Or the game ends in 4 minutes, so you know, like, truly anything can happen. So here we go. All right, game 3 on Power Bond. All right, here we go. Welcome, everybody. Game 3. Loser of this best of 3 is out of BSL. The winner advances on to our final match. And in the upper left-hand corner in the orange, it's our North American player, Ty2.
And in the bottom middle, that is a painful loss. It is gOrynich. And Ty2 has been baiting me every game because I've been watching his minerals. It sometimes goes up to 64. I'm like, yes, we got a 5 pool. And then he builds a drone. I want to see the 5 pool in ZVZ with the sunken push rapid. You don't like it, but I like it.
I think it is down and dirty, but it's so dirty, your opponent actually can't react fast enough because first, before they react, they have to experience this feeling of revulsion, which can take some milliseconds off their reaction time. So, yeah, it's effective, but you definitely don't see it very often. So let's just skip the pleasantries and go back to Hydra versus Muta. Like, can we just move on here? Like, what on earth is happening here? I'm so confused.
Yeah, that was a very interesting unit comp, and I'm looking at Ty2's build. Fast gas, no pool. Very interesting opener. And gOrynich, is he going for 12 hatch again?
Huh? I'm waiting. Okay. So Ty2 is still going one base on this, and I guess they actually both are. But for Ty2, he's going to hit a... I guess he just gets straight up build order countered, right?
I don't know. Both of the builds look so similar. I'm not sure which is the build order counter.
Well, I guess the idea is you want to build your pool as late as possible, right?
Yeah, you would prefer to do that just to get out. Even just one more drone will add up over time. But Ty2 having the pool advantage will get his lair faster, but he also has the gas advantage. If we look at the gas, he's got, what, 90 more? So that's at least one more Scourge. So potentially that could be a game-changing move if they have a big even Muta fight, you know, at the very low Muta counts, like 5-6. That could be game-changing.
Wow. Well, I mean, that might be kind of what it comes down to. My brain is definitely not thinking that in depth, so I'm gonna have to trust you on your analysis there, Nyokin. Either way, we're both getting our way up towards the lair. Ty2 is obviously gonna have a slight tad bit faster, thanks to that extra gas. He did get 11 gas, 12 pool, right?
Yeah, he went gas first into the pool, whereas gOrynich went pool into gas, and now he's taking a faster hatchery on the low ground. And again, Ty2 with the in-base hatchery. I really do like this opener, but maybe not versus gOrynich's opener, because now Ty2 is not going to have that map control he had in the early game, where he built 5 mutas and just was able to do whatever he wanted.
Yeah, and I think for Ty2, now he's got to kind of play by the rules, right? Because he doesn't get a build that will give him that crazy amount of mutas. So he's just now finishing up that lair, starting the spire. And actually, he's going for that in-base hatchery once again versus the natural expansion from gOrynich. So that's the real sort of competition. It's like who can defend their base once the mutas come out. And then if one player obviously loses the muta war, knows that they're going to, we could just go right back into spores again.
And I just realized that Ty2 just now is getting into gOrynich's base, whereas gOrynich has had vision basically this whole time. He knows exactly what Ty2 is doing, whereas Ty2 just now sees that the spire's a little bit slower than his own, but gOrynich definitely has a natural. And as I was stating previously, there's definitely no way that Ty2 is going to be able to get his natural up for free, so he's definitely going to have to make something happen with these mutas this time. Otherwise, gOrynich Econ is just going to be too good.
Yeah, I guess that's actually a big point. I mean, it is all going to be about the econ there at the natural. I mean, 17, actually now 16, because of that Evo chamber at the front. Man, gOrynich is going back to Evos, man. Whew. We could be in for another long one. I mean, he is pretty committed to just staying on this economic advantage and macroing it out. All right, Ty2, send a drone to another base.
Well, gOrynich putting down the evolution chamber. This time, I think he really only needs to have one colony at the main and that, because he's going to have matching muta count. If he builds more than that, I'd be a little bit surprised. I'm so shocked that Ty2 just takes this natural. He's just like, well, we can fight and I'm going to win the fight, so I'm just going to take the natural. Because the spire's done for gOrynich. gOrynich made Scourge. I'm shocked.
Wow. Okay, well, Ty2 has got his mutas. They're heading across the map. It's the 5, same 5 that he had last time, up to 6 with one trailing behind. Runs into a spore and runs away. Sick. All right, Scourge coming in. How good's the micro? Snipes one drone. Snipes the second one. It's got to run from the Scourge. Actually turns around. It's going to tank a couple hits, but kills off the rest. Still has 6 with one very damaged muta. I think you probably can't attack the gas geyser without taking a spore hit, so I'm gonna run around the other direction, see if maybe you can use the high ground. Yeah, look at that. All right, Ty2 completely shuts down mining at the natural.
Yep, no mining in minerals for gOrynich, but he does have the gas going. But Ty2's third hatch is about to finish, so he'll be able to match the third gas timing. And all these Scourge that gOrynich made, I'm just getting flashbacks to last game. He built basically mass Scourge for a long time, and there's just a huge gap in the main where these mutas are just picking off drones. He could probably even splash like the eggs onto the spore, onto the spire, and also that scenario right there where a muta pops out, you get a free hit.
Yeah, I mean, hey, I can't argue with that. He does have those 2 Scourge waiting for one to spawn. What is in here? Yeah, he's waiting for the muta. I love it when they cancel the muta before it spawns, just to make sure that it will die for sure. All right, oh, Scourge versus Scourge. Wow, that's anticlimactic.
Well, here we go. gOrynich trying to get some connections with the Scourge, but the muta control too good. He blows 2 Scourge onto an Overlord. Not a big loss for Ty2. Again, I love Ty2's position. And oh, unfortunately, gOrynich at the natural, he had 3 drones there, but only 1 was mining. But now he's fixed it, put them back on the minerals.
Yeah, that definitely doesn't help. Well, now Ty2 with a healthy worker lead. He's also expanded to a natural expansion of his own. And if the game goes on from here, then, you know, Ty2, sky's the limit, right?
This is brutal. gOrynich has to sync up his mutas, but they're split. He can never get them together. Now, that was finally a good Scourge connection, getting 1 muta killed and splashed another one.
Yeah, what is our muta count at right now? It's like 7.25 versus 4. So yeah, all right. Is there any way in which Ty2 is not just absolutely killing it right now?
It looks like he's killing it. We have Scourge just sitting over top of the eggs in Ty2's base. Muta pop out, 1 dies, so that's pretty good.
Yeah, not bad, not bad. But I mean, even still, trading is technically more cost effective, but I don't know if it's actually really helping gOrynich out that much, because like the muta count's still higher. It's still going to be higher. I mean, he's trying to patrol around and make sure that there's no third base so that things don't get crazily out of hand. But I think Ty2 is just content staying on 2, and I think that's just going to be good enough, because like there's also no way gOrynich gets a third base either.
Yeah, and flat out Ty2's econ is way better. He's got 7 drones. He's got 3 on gas at his nat, whereas gOrynich only has 2. Trading Scourge for mutas, if it was all even, sure, that's great. But the fact that it's not even is not really too damaging for Ty2. And also, since gOrynich only has 6 mutas, 6 mutas can deal a lot of damage, but he's not going to wipe out the drone line instantly like Ty2 would wipe out with 12 mutas. If there's a Ling attack that draws Ty2's attention, it's still going to take a while for gOrynich to kill a bunch of drones in the main.
Yeah, absolutely true. Well, I don't even know if gOrynich is ever going to get to the main here. He seems a little bit timid, honestly. I think he's actually just really afraid that he missed something elsewhere on the map. So he's doing such a thorough job spreading out and trying to just get every little piece of information that's out there. And meanwhile, the longer this goes on, I mean, Ty2's up 32 to 17 workers.
Yeah, his econ is crazy. He's even taking a third base. And gOrynich, he's got 2 hatches total. Ty2 has 3, soon to be 4. We're going to have double production. We already almost have double workers. This is almost an insurmountable lead for Ty2 at this point. We don't see... Oh, again, gOrynich is getting +1 on his Hydras, but he just doesn't have the econ this time.
Yeah, I mean, look, there are a lot of similarities between this game and the last game. Less craziness, less base trades. I'm actually like dare I say this game is more normal than the last one? I mean, this is still super weird, but I think both players just so timid. For Ty2, I actually really appreciate that, because he knows that he can afford to be more defensive. He's getting a third base now. Oh my god.
Yeah, this build from Ty2. I really thought gOrynich had the build order advantage, but apparently not. This is a really slick build. I've never seen this other than the times that Ty2 has shown it. And just what does gOrynich do? His econ is so... Well, for Zerg versus Zerg, it's good, but just in comparison to Ty2, it's just nothing.
Waiting for gOrynich to like... Yeah, I'm actually just waiting for gOrynich to like figure it out, because I don't like, what does he know? Does he know that he's following further and further behind?
I'm not sure if he knows that, because he's patrolling back and forth just like Ty2 is doing, but Ty2 is taking bases at the same time. ZVZ is such a aggro matchup that this a style that Ty2 is playing, gOrynich may just flat out not be used to it, and Ty2 is just running circles around him. He's up 12 workers. He's got third gas running. 95 to 55 in ZVZ. That's nuts.
Oh yeah, no, that's absolutely ludicrous. It's almost like you're making that up. I'm just like, I don't believe you. I'm like, oh wait, no, that's actually true. Whew. Okay, well, here we go. Running in a few little Zerglings, trying to see if he can get anything done. I really like this kind of like backstab move. See if he can snipe off a couple of drones while he's here, or even just get the information. Gonna get one. Oh my goodness, just barely. Oh, he's gonna get a second one. Damn. Wait, or is it just one?
I think he got a couple drones there, but what I'm really looking at is look at gOrynich's muta count. It's at 11. He's got like 20 Scourge, but what's Ty2's muta count? It's like 25, 30 mutas. There's no way that, again, gOrynich can win a muta fight. He's going to go into Hydras. Finally, the Hydra Den's coming down, but this 4-base Zerg.
You want to say that one more time, just so we can have it not be the one sentence that's only said once in the world?
4-base Zerg. That's not something you
Nyoken.
see these days. I really wish Ty2 would build like a Queen's Nest or Hydra Den or something, because the Mass Muta is cool, but if you run into a guy with better econ than gOrynich has right now and you run into a Plague, all of a sudden this Muta Ball is horrible. So
Yeah.
this opener is really cool. Wish we could see more of a transition from him though.
Well, I mean, gOrynich is thinking about transitioning into Hydras, because obviously that worked so well for him last game. He's getting +1 speed, lots of Hydras on the way. Carapace level 2 is on the way for Ty2. I think that'll, of course, help him out quite a bit. But there's a 5th hatchery coming up, just now finishing for Ty2. More gas, more. This is it's insane. I mean, gOrynich is still on 2 bases. I don't know. I don't know, Nyoken. This is just a series that keeps on giving.
Yeah, this time we see Ling are being made by Ty2. He recognized that Mass Muta versus Mass Hydra is not going to work out if gOrynich can get the critical mass. So I like how he's going to buffer the damage with the Lings. I am still surprised that despite knowing that Ty2, he just doesn't attack. He just consistently just sits here, takes bases. You would think he's going to attack with this huge Muta Ball, right? I doubt it.
No, I mean, the longer he keeps this Muta Ball, the stronger and the better he is. But eventually, just like honestly, I would not want to throw the game, right? Just because I did something when I didn't need to do it. But now, oh, look at this. The Ride of the Valkyries. He's going to catch so many mutas out here. And he's not really good enough to moving shot them when he is controlling 1.5 million. But, like, you know, he got a little bit of the job done. What is the God comp that Ty2 wants to go for here?
Well, I don't know what his God comp is, because it seems like it's going to just be Mass Muta, but the God comp for you as Zerg versus Zerg, if you can get it, is like Hydra, Lurker, Defiler, Devour, or something like that.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, you need Hive for a little bit of that. Get those Defilers out there, but or not. Defilers, Devour, or something like that. But neither player really wants to go past Lair.
Yeah, well, gOrynich is starting to build up his Hydra count. They have +2 pretty soon. Both players are extremely low on drones. So this 150 supply that Ty2 has, it's 120 supply of Muta Ling. So we're talking 4 groups of Mutas, probably a group of Lings. And meanwhile, gOrynich has maybe like 50 Hydras, which is a lot, but 50 versus 50, I think the Mutas are going to win that fight.
You think? I think so. I think I'm on the same page with you there, Nyoken. But like the last game, like he didn't even ever fight 50 versus 50. It was always like 50 mutas versus like 2 hydras at a time trying to get up a ramp. So, I mean, I'd like to take that fight too, but let's see, what is Ty2 doing? Okay, he's about to finish Carapace level 2. That's going to be absolutely gigantic. He's making 9 mutas at a time. Holy expletives. Like, 9 mutas at a time. He's up to... This has to be 50 mutalisks.
It's got... Okay, are we finally going to see an attack? I think we're finally going to see an attack. Here we go. How many mutas? It looks like it's about 48 mutas. And the hydras are at the natural, and they're going to get bottled up on this ramp, so this game is just going to get vaporized.
It's just... I mean, just everything. Destruction. Domination. Like, devastation. Oh my gosh. What a massacre. Oh my gosh. Well, alright, there's just... I wonder at what point the mutas start to win. Like, eventually you do win that, right? Like, I don't know. He's still got 1.5 million mutas left over afterwards.
Yeah, meanwhile, we got Ling counterattack to mid-right. That hatch is going to go down, and just like last game, gOrynich has to make a move. He can't just sit in his base anymore, but if he makes a move, he gets countered, and Ty2, well, he doesn't have Sunkens anywhere, but it's not going to matter. There's just not enough fight.
No. Yeah, I mean, I get the idea that gOrynich is going for. He's going for cost-effective units that, you know, win against what his opponent has. And to Ty2's deficit, he still only has one unit type. So maybe that opens it up to a little bit of counter-eno here. But, I mean, I don't know, man. This is just really rough to kind of watch gOrynich. He's running around at the speed of sound, but he's not really going anywhere.
Yeah, this is going to be the last move from gOrynich because he doesn't have any drones in his main, not building any at all. So he's just all in at this point. But where do you attack? If you attack the third base, Ty2 just Sunkens his main and natural. And then as long as that stays up, he's fine. If you kill the main and natural, he's still got 2 bases. It doesn't matter. Every base you attack is not ideal.
Yeah, I mean, there's not really a good way to do this. I'm guessing you just attack into the natural, but look, now 4 or 5 sunken colonies here. I think we already know how that goes. There's some sick deja vu that gOrynich is about to get when he does this.
Well, we may have a ZVZ that one of the players gets maxed out on. I don't know the last time I've seen that. Here we go. This has got to be the game ending fight. gOrynich going to try and make it happen, but this is so many units.
Yeah, those Sunkens. Here come in that wave of Scourge. If every single one of these Scourge hits, then maybe. No, I'm just kidding. It was a yo. Yeah, no, everything dies here for gOrynich. Actually, I mean, just lose the. He's just dying to the Sunkens. The Mutalisks are kind of, you know, the cherry on top here. Yep, they will eventually kill everything. Damn, dude. Damn. Ty2. My man. Another victory for America. And probably the most American way I've ever seen. Stupid blind counter. Is that what it is? Is that what this is? Would you describe either one of these games as a stupid blind counter Nyoken?
I like Ty2's opener in the first game on Ground Zero, but
I would describe this as a blind counter in that I wish I were blind and banging my head into a counter.
No, come on, ZVZ, we never get games like this. So you gotta appreciate them when you get them. Otherwise, Rapid, I'd rather see this than a 5-minute Ling all in.
I mean, you know, it's like that saying. It's like, has science gone too far? They knew that they could, but they never stopped to think if they should. You know, there's maybe a reason where the world was why the world was designed to give us short ZBZs, because the human race just is not ready for whatever we just watched. We opened Pandora's box of ZVZ, and inside is something like we'll never be able to erase for our brains, but the least we can do is close the box forever and hope that it's never opened again, you know?
I want to see it opened again. I want to off race as Zerg on the ladder and run into somebody that did that. And I'm going to ask them, were you inspired by Ty2? And I hope they said yes. Because I don't see that style ever. Ever, never, ever.
What a legacy to leave behind, right? All the kids out there, they're going to be like, when I was watching BSL as a wee lad, I learned how to play late game ZVZ from, oh my God, get me out of here. Okay. Well, congratulations to Ty2. He is going to move on, and he will be playing in our final match of the night against Dragon. Winner will advance on to round of 8 BSL Season 7. So